folks. Back for more Tape Don't Lie. I got my guy Chris Martin, stadium video analyst. C-Mart, how you doing?
Fantastic, man. I'm locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go too. Listen, we're almost at the middle of the season, and the reality of it is we're kind of fool's gold for some of these teams. We got 3 top 15 teams that haven't lived up to the hype, and they all got there a different way, and I think that's the interesting part of this discussion, what's gone wrong. So when we look at Miami, I think one of the big things here, first off, you see this one. You get that two-man screen, right? You got 2 guys looking to screen for this Michigan State player. And in this ball game, and we're going to run it back, so I want to get your thoughts on when we run it back. But you see, big play, right? Guy picks up a chunk of yardage. So let's take us through this play, C-Mart. What are you seeing?
Well, first off, Michael, you did an excellent job of drawing that up. But at this simplest form, defense is about 2 things, communication and effort. And what I'm seeing here clearly from Miami is lack of communication. And then when the play starts to roll, you see lack of effort, and that's what's disappointing. Here's Jalen Naylor. We see him on this bubble screen, and now you play it inside out. The corner actually does a nice job of coming up, forcing it back, keeping leverage on the ball, and then you got to have a defense to get there. The problem is there's no pursuit, bad angles to the football, and all of a sudden Naylor's out the door.
Yeah, and bad pursuit angles, that's a big pet peeve of mine. There's a reason you do pursuit drills in practice, and it's not just for conditioning, but watching the safety come down and then not take that proper banana route to get to the wide receiver, that's a big problem. So here we go. This isn't even about pursuit angles. This is about being gapped out, but this is against App State, right? We're going to see this run here from Cameron Peoples, and look, that's the quickest way to get into the end zone is running right up the gut. You look at it from behind. So let's look through this, right? Because you see he's got leverage. He's playing with leverage, but he's trying to cross the face. Double team here, and then we've got a linebacker who's got an opportunity to fit here and a safety that should be cleaning up here. But what happens? What do we actually see as we watch this play?
Well, you see lack of physicality at the point of attack. I mean, they can't get in there. And as you pointed out, linebacker, yeah, he jumps in the wrong gap, and then all of a sudden Peoples squares his shoulders, and then you got the outside in safety coming left to right. He's slow to trigger, and so he doesn't get there in time. Then all of a sudden Peoples squares his shoulders, and he can get through there. And again, we talk about it all the time. You have to take proper angles to the ball. If not, you're going to mess up the run fit and let that ball get to the house.
Right, so Miami's defense hasn't been up to snuff, at least not up to that top 15 level that they needed to be to stay in those rankings. The next part for me, and I get it, Derek King, they lose him for the season. We're looking at new quarterback playing. But the big key here, this is less about King and his play and a little bit more about something that's been a problem for them because turnover margin is critical, right? It's not just whether or not you turn the ball over, but if you can turn over the other team. So here, let's look at the play because you get your safety rotating back. And I love this moment right here, C-Mart, because I love zone coverage. But there is something about watching all these guys all looking at what you're doing, and he's not selling them on anything except for going right here.
Well, that's exactly right. That's the key to this play. King telegraphs this throw. He stares down his receiver, and the safety does a good job of rolling over the top. And since Halloween's coming up, taking the candy, that's exactly what you want to do, give the offense another possession.
Yeah, and I love that. The big thing for me when I think about Miami, they're -3 in turnover margin, right? So you have to turn that ball over. We're spending so much time talking about Iowa and how great they are at turning teams over. You have to at least be at neutral when you talk about the turnovers, but it helps to be even better. Here we get to UNC. UNC doesn't have the same issue, doesn't have all the same issues as Miami. So with the UNC, let's start with Sam Howell. The big thing for me when I watch Sam Howell play is I can tell that he's pressing, right? He's trying to make a play, not just to impress NFL scouts, but they have to have him make a play. So take us through this because he gives you a little look flat, and then he tries to find somebody up over the top.
Well, it starts with film study on Howell. The book out on him is he wants to push the ball vertically, get it down the field, and that's exactly what he wants to do. Here, the cornerback is in phase, and he's in great position. He can track the ball coming in, and so now this is just a 50-50 ball, and because he has such great position, he's able to make the play on it. Florida State going with a man-free concept. He sees it here. This is a big turnover. He gets the jump ball on Brown. But again, knowing what Sam Howell wants to do, he gets frustrated sometimes. He wants the big play and the big strike. that's when you're vulnerable to turning the ball over.
Well, the big thing that I notice when I watch is I think Sam Howell has to want the vertical play over the top because UNC's not very good running the football consistently. I know they had the 198-yard game from Ty Chandler, but that was one game. Sam Howell has 3 100-yard games. There are multiple games where Sam Howell is not only their leading passer, he's their leading rusher, including 3 100-yard games. So let's focus in right here. Because I know when we sent you the tape, you noticed this the same way that I did. This is about winning one-on-one battles. So let's focus on this one-on-one battle first, and then we'll get to the next stuff. Look at this right here. Boom, your guard. Whoop, dumped. Come on. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's what's really disappointing when you look at North Carolina. It starts from inside out. You got to win the battle in the trenches and at the POA, the point of attack. And right here, you just see, bad pad level, able to come in, reestablish the line of scrimmage as you have drawn up for us here. And then it's just about, getting to the ball, being able to hold up your defender and, give Florida State credit here of surging and getting to the ball. But this is just blown up play, and you can't do it. It starts up front with the offensive line. They've got to be better.
Yeah, and then from a defensive standpoint, we've already hit on UNC a little bit when we talked about Georgia Tech and some of the things they weren't able to do. So defensively, when I look at this play, it's a lot of bodies trying to play fast, but not doing anything that matters. And I think that's the key here. You got guys running around, but at the end of the day, if you're running around and you don't have the space, you don't know where you're supposed to be. And this is the critical part right here. I want folks to know, because look at this. Look at the space, look at the green, look at all these blue shirts way back here, and I want to make sure we get this one right here, C-Mart, because this is this position that you never want to be in, but I know you know this as a defensive back, this one right here.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad that you pointed that out, because I was thinking that the whole time. When the arms go up like that, that means there's a breakdown in communication. And I've always said breakdowns create breakthroughs. All of a sudden, you blow an assignment and coverage, and that's how this thing gets loose on you. But you're so right here. Look at him throw the arms up.
Yeah.
What were you doing? What were you thinking? That's exactly what that is.
I mean, literally look at it like, hey, I don't know what's happening. So the big thing for me, and I wrote this down because this one, I want to make sure I get this one right. Iowa State is number 3 in the country in total defense. There's no reason for this team to be a 2-loss team. Number 3 in total defense. But here's the problem, and I want folks to recognize, note this right here. This is as we get started to wrap up. Every single one of these plays is a third down. Every one of these plays is a third down. So watch this. This is a third down. What are we going to do? We're going to get that little sticks concept. You sit sticks, guess what? You're right here. The ball has to get you right here so that you can continue the drive and get a first down. Incomplete pass. Take me through it.
You're exactly right. They shift to a 2-by-2 set here. Maybe he's got a chance on the shift across the team, but that's probably blown up. And you called it right. All Baylor does is play the sticks here and then come up, drive the ball. Nothing's really there. And so all of a sudden, you're off the field yet again on third down.
Yep, off the field on third down. This is them playing their rivals, right? Third down, 3rd and 7. You want to make sure you want to get to the yard mark to gain. But again, this is something, and we talked about this a lot when we talked about Iowa, but look at that, hands on the ball, hands on the ball, hands on the ball. And that's a Brock Purdy not recognizing who's in his throwing lane, and you see this right here, boom. Read, react, and move through to get hands on that football, and I think that's something that Purdy has to take into account as he quarterbacks his football team.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but that was creative play by the defense to slide the defensive end over to get him in that throwing lane.
Yeah, so this one, I got to hear what you think about this play. Because it's 3rd and 8. You're in you're not a goal to go situation. It's 3rd and 8. You can still make a first down inside the 1. And yet we throw the football 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards short of where we want to be. How do you feel about that?
Don't like the play. I don't love it. But remember, Purdy's expecting to get a little more on the rub here. See, he wanted to get the rub on the inside slot receiver on Riley Moss. He didn't get it there. If he gets the rub, that play has a chance.
Yeah, and then this one, obviously, great coverage, and coverage beats everything. They're hugged up against everybody. Baylor does a great job in coverage. I think it's going to be interesting to see if Iowa State can correct their third down problems, because otherwise, as a football team, they are fixing things offensively. It's about consistency on third downs. That's a thing that's been sinking them. 3 different teams, 3 different problems. Which one do you think has the most fixable problem?
Well, I'll tell you what scares me the most. You look at Iowa State's wide receivers, their inability to separate or to uncover presents a problem. They're the opposite of 7-Eleven. They won't be open for 24 hours. And until they fix that, I'm going to go with Iowa State. They've got to get it corrected.